I wasn't never the greatest student. This is what I did. This is my testimony. You can do the same thing I did, and you can even do it better. Usually you don't see successful people hanging around with someone unsuccessful on the street. Mm-hmm. So I followed the successful people. As I was watching what they were doing, I would ask questions, and I was just absorbing. I was always asking questions. And I admired what they were doing and said, that's going to be me one day.
So I want to kind of talk about your journey, because it seems like you started out as an apprentice, then you moved over and you were successful there. Then you moved into a drain tech. You were successful there, and then you moved into the plumbing tech, and now plumbing sales. So kind of talk about your journey of progression at every level and your success at every level.
So basically, when I started at Abacus, I did start as that apprentice. I came from a job, just a maintenance job, that was not really, it wasn't gratifying for me because there was no room for promotion. It was just stagnant. So I did it for 13 years, and this was 13 years after my mother's passing. So I kind of got into a little bad point. So then when I come to Abacus, this is why I came to Abacus, because I wanted a better future and a better life for myself. So when I came in as an apprentice, I just kind of just was being Dana, just doing what Dana does. And that role came pretty quick and easy, that it was apparent that he's not going to stay in this position very quick. So that was a role of success for me. About four and a half months later, I was going into a drain truck. This is where I really started growing, because I was working with master plumbers and journeyman plumbers. And I was really seeing what the trades are really about. So once I got into a drain cleaning truck, and I could go to customers' homes and clean their drains out and recommend for a more experienced technician to come in and evaluate their problem and come up with proposals for corrective action to get this thing taken care of, or this situation taken care of. I give much respect and credit to Justin Wagner, Bob Conley, Jose Parra, and Mr. Tony as well, our president. So all of these people groomed me through that process of becoming a better technician. So the only credit I give to myself is I was willing to absorb, and I asked a lot of questions. But for the most part, I followed their lead, because I knew in order to be successful, and I learned this from a long time ago, I heard it when I was a young kid, in order to be successful, people hang around successful people. So usually you don't see successful people hanging around with someone unsuccessful on the street. It just doesn't go together. It's like oil and water. Mm-hmm. So I followed the successful people, and as I was watching what they were doing, whether they knew it or not, I was absorbing all the words that they were telling clients. Everything that they were doing when they were doing camera inspection, I would ask questions, and I was just absorbing. I was always asking questions, and I admired what they were doing and said, that's going to be me one day. That's where I want to be. I didn't think it was going to happen as fast as it did, because I was a drain tech for a couple years. And then, I had made it to the Gold Awards back to back, where I did where I made it on stage for TGL and win rate. Lo and behold, I didn't know Mr. Tony and some of my successors, some of the guys that I admired, got together and said, why isn't Dana getting a license? He's done everything he can do in the drain department. I was finishing on top of the company of Abacus, #1 technician every year for 2.5 years straight. I was #1, and pretty much in everything we do in the drain department. So they made it very uncomfortable for me. They started not really manipulating things, but what they did is they said, okay, we're gonna give certain calls, and we're gonna start pushing him out to do calls outside of the drain department while the other drain guys were going to be doing drain stuff. And I'm a numbers guy. So I'm competitive. Hold on. This guy's getting too close to my numbers. And they're like, no, we need you to. So they started making things uncomfortable. And when I seen one guy finish above me, I said, I'm done with this. I'm getting a license. I don't know why why I was being so stubborn, but that's what it took. Mr. Tony and Bob and Justin Wagner and Jose Parra, they all understood he's in his own way. I was blocking my success. But once I got that license, once I decided I was going to go get a license, and I studied, and and this was another fear of mine. I wasn't never the greatest student academic wise. I was always maybe 1A on the report card, and then I was maybe 1B if I was lucky, and the rest were C's, maybe a D in there if I really didn't like that subject. So I didn't do bad, but I was never an overachiever academically. So that test, that's what I was fearing the most. So I guess that was another one of those fears that I just did it, finally made up my mind and actually started studying and took that test, passed my written test. The very first time I practiced for a whole month straight. I read everything, and I went through everything that was given to me from my prep class, and I passed that test. When I passed that written test, I was like, okay, this practical, I'm going over here and I'm going to kill this practical and I'm going to have myself a license. So when I decided to take my license, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to go ahead and go for a tradesman, because I've been a drain tech for so long. I had over 8,000 hours. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight for the journeyman. I'm going straight for the juggler. So I went ahead and took that test, got my journeyman's license.
Wow.
And then when I come back, go ahead.
I was going to ask, is that different than a master plumber?
Yes.
Journeyman? Okay.
So your journeyman's license, you pretty much can do about anything a master can do other than run a business, because you have to have a master's license to actually start your business. And journeymen can't do everything by themselves. They have to do it in the presence of a master plumber. So that master plumber is the one. Journeyman cannot bid for state and county level jobs. If you're bidding for work and you're more of a contractor that's going to bid for a city job or a state job, then you're not going to be able to bid for that job as a journeyman. You have to be traded in the plumbing industry. You have to be a master. Okay. So that there's a difference in level. I couldn't take a master's test. You have to hold your journeyman's license for 4 years.
Got it.
In order to even take your master's.
So I want to go back, Dana, and talk a little bit about this burning desire to be successful. Like, have you always had that? Is that just something that's innate inside of you?
It is. Like I said, it goes back to the sports once again. I hate to seem like redundant, but it goes back to the sports, and then being the younger child, seeing the success of my brother. They went to state back to back, and when we grew up in Illinois, he went to state back to back, got himself a scholarship. He was a McDonald's All-American. He broke the record in junior high for rushing yards. These are things that I chased. So when I saw my brother was very, very good at what he was doing when he played baseball, football, and he played basketball, I'm going to do that, but I want to be better. So it was just that natural competitive drive. So when I work today, it's not so much I want to be better, but I want to be among. Because better can come off very cocky, or people may not take that well, that you want to be better than them, but I definitely want to be among them. So when people tell me, I killed it, I'm like, I did all right. But, I like to downplay things for myself, but I know what I want at the end of the day. I want to be among the top. And no matter what I do, if I'm not, I call myself an 85 percenter. I might need to raise that bar a little bit higher to 90 percenter. I want
Yeah.
to be
Six-time Goat
90% of
Award
everything.
winner. Six-time Goat Award winner. You're up higher than that, babe.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that you want to be among, and that just speaks to your humility. A
Yes.
six-time Goat Award winner is much greater than just an 85 percenter. How
Yeah.
about a 99.9%, brother?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
I'm
that. I
serious.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I just tried to be, if I'm not being the best I can be, I'm not going to sleep good that night. That's for sure. If I didn't have a good day, if I go to a client's house and I can't have a great conversation with them, usually if I don't have a good conversation, we're probably not going too far. That's just the way it is for me. When I walk
Yeah.
into a home, I need that. I gotta feel among. I love to build rapport. I gotta feel comfortable. And I want to feel trusted as well. When I walk into someone's home. So these are just needs that I have. And it allows me to be who I am and actually give a customer exactly what they're asking for. When a client's asking for whatever they may be asking, I will go above and beyond to make sure I reach that goal.
Mm. What advice would you have for somebody that's watching?
For someone that's watching,
No, that maybe lacks the burning desire, that maybe is on a bit of a roller coaster. Sometimes they have the burning desire, sometimes it goes away. You just seem to be this person, and your numbers speak to it, because numbers don't lie, people do. And Dana's numbers tell a lot of truth. If there's a person that's kind of going up and down in this burning desire, what advice would you have for them?
the first thing I would probably say is you deserve it, and you have to believe that you deserve it. Second thing is, once you start obtaining, be humble, give thanks, and make sure you give back for what you learned. Make sure you're giving some of that back to somebody that may be at where you came from, or might be starting from a lot different position than you, but give back and help somebody else grow. And the more that you help somebody grow, the more you're going to grow, because you're going to want to help more people. In order to help people, you have to keep developing, you have to mature, and you have to grow. So I would just tell the younger people is that you deserve it, and to work hard, be humble, and give 110% of what you have. Don't worry about what it is. Just give 110% of what you got.
Okay. I mean, what a formula. What a formula. Here's what I just heard. Number one, come to grips with the fact that you deserve it, and you're worth it, and you're enough. That's what I heard. Number two.
Yes.
Once you start obtaining, and I love that word you said, obtaining, be humble. So once I start getting stuff, it's like I need to be more humble.
Yeah.
And the way that you said you do that is start giving back. Have you ever seen a technician that started having success, or maybe even you, and they get what I like to refer to as the disease of me?
Yes, I have.
They kind of forget.
Yes.
They kind of forget all the things that made them successful.
Yeah.
You mentioned giving back. Is that how you, or let me ask you, how do you rid yourself of that disease of me mentality that can creep in? Because to me, by the way, that's the work of the devil.
Right.
The disease of me is purely just the work of the devil, and we have to understand that it's going to happen to all of us. How does Dana counteract that?
Well, the way I counteract it, I guess, is because as much as I want to win, I want to see other people win. So, and if I know I have a hand in on their development and their success, then it's so gratifying. It feels good to know you're going where you want to go, and you can coach or help people go the same direction. And I've said it over and over and over to some of the younger guys, and I am 51 years old. So I've said to some of the younger 20 and 30-year-old technicians, and I just tell them, this is what I did. And I'm not telling you this story to brag. This is my testimony. And I've said it over and over and over. You can do it. You can do the same thing I did, and you can even do it better, or even go further, or do it your way. But and it kind of goes into abacus, our core values: teamwork, loyalty, just the core values of the company altogether. And I mentioned that to the young guys as well. If you're thinking halfway full and not half empty, then you're going in the right direction, no matter where you start from. So that, I don't know. I don't have that quit in me. I just only have that develop and try to become a better person. And this company's done that for me. If you don't mind, I'd probably like to add this just real quick. For one thing is when you said I started out $14 an hour, my first year with Abacus, I got into a truck in February. It was February the 3rd. I remember the date, February the 3rd, when I went into my truck. Throughout that year, I went from a $14 an hour guy to a $97,000 a year in 11 months. So, once I became a drain tech, the following year I did 104. The next year after that I did 107. As a drain tech that was still on his apprentice card, I bought a house, my very first house. This is all because of Abacus and just believing in the process, believing in myself, absorbing, willing to put in the work, and just allow myself to grow. Nurture and you shall grow. And that's what's made it easy for me to come on here and speak with you, because my nerves, I'm not gonna lie, for the last 2 days, my nerves were a wreck because I don't normally like to talk in public. I like to talk one-on-one in little small groups, but not big groups or not on a podcast. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, because I'm growing.
Buddy, your message, your testimony, and let's give it up for your father. When we say that, your testimony is special, is really special. And I've got notes here and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, you want to see others succeed. And I'll tell you, all you did is you learned from Justin, Bob, Jose, because all they wanted was to see you succeed.
Correct.
So they had to pour some of that in you as well.
They did.
Which is really cool.
And it makes it easy for me to give back. I'm only doing what was given to me. I'm giving back. They gave to me, which means they were giving back to the trades by helping someone develop. And now I want to give back to the trades and help others develop as well. And that's what I do. So yes, I like you said before, I've had great examples and I've had good leadership that's helped me grow into where I'm at. I had a lot of that instilled in me, but I think I lost a lot of it when my mother passed. So now it's kind of gotten put back to the forefront, and now I'm delivering again.